Stay classy, Golden Eagles. So really quickly, I wanted to talk a little bit. I'm going to need to use some examples that are not on the pages, so I just kind of chose one that's very similar to what you'll see and kind of try to work through it. So our learning target today is I will be able to join angles to determine an angle's measure. So what we're trying to do here, and what we are doing here, is we have two different angles within one larger angle. So if you think about our angle starting up here and then ending over here, that is one large angle from here to here. But we have this other ray or other line that creates two angles within. So we have one that starts up here, goes to our vertice, and then goes back up here. And we have another one that starts up here and goes to here and out to here. In fact, we have three different angles. And what we are going to try to do today, since we know the measure of the two smaller angles, we're going to figure out how to find the measure for x. And what x is saying is how big is the angle from here to our vertice out to the end. So it's the entire thing, all right? There's actually a pretty simple way to go about doing this, and that is just adding up the measure of the inside angles. And if we add up the measure of the angle or the ray from here to here to here, which is 43, and we add up the measure of the angle from here to the vertice to out to here, which is this amount, we will get our answer for x, which is the whole entire array. All right? So all we have to do is take what we know, which is the measure of this angle, which is 43, and add the measure of this angle, which is 64. 4 and 3 is 7, 6 and 4 is 10. So we end up with 107 degrees. Now on your answer sheet, I think I put the word degrees. If it's not there, you can go ahead and just type in degrees. But the symbol, which is kind of difficult to find on a computer, is just a tiny little circle above the top, all right? And it's very similar to the degrees of temperature. It's the same type of thing. So let's try another problem that's slightly different, okay? It's similar, but it's just represented a different way. And here's what it looks like, okay? So this is still another angle, three different as we saw last time, from point up here, so W to S to F, W to S to U, and also F to S to U, okay? So what we need to know here is that we have one angle of WSF, we have one of SFU, and we have finally the big one, the all-encompassing one that previously had been represented by the letter X from our example just previously, but now it's labeled differently as WSU. Yes, of course, you know, Mr. Ferguson, he's not going to leave out an opportunity to talk about Washington State. So we're going to find the measure from W to S to U. And in order to do that, that's this whole dot from this dotted line all the way across. We have to do what we did previously. We have to add up, what the other two previous known, the WSF and the FSU, add them together, and we'll get the measure of the whole WS and U. So let's add it up. WSF is 28. Then we're going to add the FSU, which is 17. 7 plus 8 is 15. Put a 5, carry a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. And we end up with the answer of 45 degrees. Now you may not have saw this in the shot earlier, but there's the degree sign. So that is what you guys are going to do for page 12. There are 6 problems that are very similar to the 2. The first 3 will have a system like this, where you have a dotted line and there's no letters that mark different. It's just X, and so you'll add up the inside. And then the final 3 will be very similar to this, where you'll have different labels of different letters for your various angles in your arrays, and you'll add them up to find the sum of the whole, which should be from the out to the middle to the very far end. The next video that I'll show you guys is, I'll leave that there. The next video that I'll share with you guys on today's lesson is going to be about how to work on to page 13, which is just slightly different. As always, stay classical, Neagles.